welcome to Resilient Now podcast. So happy you are here. We have another episode for you, and we have an amazing author. She will talk in a second. First of all, what is Resilient Now podcast? It's a place where you can come and hopefully hear somebody who has gone through what you are going through right now, but they're on the other side. They're a little bit further. It doesn't mean they're not going through pain, but they're a little bit further than you are right now in whatever situation you're in. Please go to Resilient Out Podcast. It's free. Go to Apple, go to YouTube. I have shows on here, different people. But if you just want to go to the website, you can go to resilientnowpodcast.com and you can hear all the speakers there as well. So, Judy, you're here. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, and I'm excited to hear you. I'm excited to hear you. So, what I usually do with everybody is I start the podcast asking, what does resilient now mean to you? And it could be anything.
Okay. For me, resilient now isn't about just getting through something hard, right? It's about what you do after. I think a lot of us, know how to survive. We push through and we keep going and we figure it out. But resilience for me is more of like awareness. So it's being honest about what hasn't felt right, what you've outgrown, what you've been tolerating, and then actually doing something about it. So the now part matters because it's like ongoing, right? It's not a one-time shift. It's, how you show up every day. It's for me, it's I'm paying attention. If I'm being honest with myself, I'm making better decisions than I used to.
That's awesome. I love that. You put so much in there. Thank you so much. So, you're going to talk about, you're going to share a resilience story and you're going to talk about these books that you write. So, I'm very excited and your newest one. So, please tell us more.
Absolutely. My story isn't really one like big moment. It's really more of like a pattern I had to break. Like
Mhm.
for a long time, I was the person who always said, I'm fine. That was my default. No matter what's going on, I keep moving. And, from the outside looking in, everything looks good, career, life, showing up, getting things done. But internally, I wasn't okay. And at a certain point, I had to be honest about what that really was. And I was in an abusive marriage. And that changed me as a woman. It silenced my voice, it dimmed my light. And for a long time, I really didn't fully realize how much of myself I had lost in that. And I had gotten used to saying I'm fine and pushing through, but eventually that stopped working. And that's really where my healing journey started, and not it wasn't all at once, it wasn't perfect, but it was real, and just started slowing down. I, started paying attention to how I really felt, stopped brushing things off. I really started being more honest with myself. So I began making just small decisions, really kind of that brought me back to myself. Over time, those, decisions added up. I started like trusting myself again. I started recognizing what didn't work for me. I started choosing a lot differently. And that wasn't easy and it was very uncomfortable, but it was very real. And for me, resilience wasn't just getting through something. It was really just doing the work to heal. It was moving forward in a very different way. My healing was very intentional. I didn't just like wait to feel better. I actively worked on it. I poured into my kids, I poured into my career, I committed to therapy and health and wellness. I'm, trying to meditate, be nutritious and exercise. And all of those things, small incremental things, really helped me to rebuild. Um, but more than anything, I started creating, like, these small moments for myself every day, like, moments where I can just slow down, check in, and really just be. And over time, those small, consistent moments are what really helped me to heal. And, that experience is really what inspired my book, Beyond the Fireworks. It'll be out in July. It's fiction, and it's rooted in this emotional space, like what happens after the intensity, after the chaos, after the fireworks. And when things get quiet and you're kind of left to yourself, that's where the real work begins. That's where you figure out who you are as a person and what you want for your life moving forward. I stopped really just getting through life and intentionally started choosing how I wanted to live and intentionally designing a life that actually feels good to me. And honestly, it's less about becoming someone new. It's more about returning to who I've always been.
I love that. It's funny when you were talking, I learned something somebody in program once taught me, and it said it's uncover, discover, and discard. Uncover, discover, and discard. So that's what it's like we're doing that all the time. So I love that. So you talked about being in an abusive relationship. There's somebody listening to this and they're going to go, well, what kind of abuse? Like, how does she's talked about all that, but like how to get through it and what you just said, which is amazing. But do you mind sharing a little bit about the abuse so somebody can tie that into them, when they're listening?
Yeah, it was, I went through a very like physical and emotional abusive relationship. And then, a lot of times even the emotion is just as devastating as physical, and it could really, really make you, like, lose yourself in who you are, and that's what I really struggled with for a long time. I remained in a marriage where I kind of lost myself, and it wasn't until I really started working on, leaving and healing that I was able to return to myself, recover what I had lost over, years of marriage.
Wow, I'm sorry you had to go through that, but you're on the other side and look at you, you're writing books, you're shining. It's beautiful. So, you've written other books besides this book, or am I correct?
This is my
Oh,
first novel.
this is your first book. Okay, I got confused, sorry. But this is exciting. So maybe tell us like a couple things about the book. It's, a little bit, just to kind of like a teaser so people can, go off and can they listen to it on Audible yet, or is it just in book form?
It's available for pre-order. It doesn't come out until July.
Okay.
So Beyond the Fireworks follows, my protagonist, Celine, who is in an abusive relationship, and the book doesn't focus a lot on the actual, like, abuse. It goes through, the abuse that Celine has, endured, but the book is really about how Celine heals and moves forward in a life after being in an abusive relationship.
Okay. Well, this is going to be wonderful. I can't wait. I'm somebody who because of time constraints, I usually listen to my books. I have an Audible membership. So, I can't wait to listen to your book. And I'm
Thank you.
so thankful you came. So I always end the podcast with gratitude because I think gratitude trumps sadness and just judgment and just everything. So what's your top gratitude? You could be more than one right now.
Um, I would say, what gratitude looks like for me now. Before I tied things to going well. When life felt easy. It's not intentional. I'm really grateful for peace. Honestly, that's something I really don't take lightly anymore. And I'm also grateful for challenges. Not because I'd want to go through challenges again, but because I see them differently now. I can look back and recognize that a lot of it was really, God refining me, shaping me and, helping me to grow. So for me, gratitude now isn't just about what feels good. It's about understanding what it all produced in me.
I love that. I love that because life is like that. It's a sequence of things that are just going to be hard and not super fun sometimes.
Yeah,
But out of those things, we can actually have gratitude because we get to the other side. We're stronger, we're wiser.
exactly.
And our experience, much like yours, what you're talking about today, our experience can really help somebody who doesn't see hope or doesn't want to go further, or, it can encourage somebody to just go get help. So I'm really, really happy you were here. You are a treasure. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for
And,
having me.
yes, and I can't wait to listen to the book, and at some point I'll read it too. Well, everybody, thank you for joining us today. Stay resilient now, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Amazing.